Mr. Waite, would you please lead us in the pledge?
Yes, sir. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good and gracious Lord, with the beginning of a new year and resolutions, please help us focus on a resolution to look out for the best interests of humanity and the common good. First, let us truly appreciate and be thankful for all you have given us and allowed us to accomplish through the talents and opportunities you have provided. Second, we ask you to help teach us humility, and that giving of ourselves is the best way to demonstrate our concern for our neighbors rather than selfish motives. Also, guide our plans to administer our city with impartiality during this upcoming year in a fair, equitable manner and with genuine concern for what benefits all residents. Mindful of these thoughts, we ask you to hold our military personnel, our police, our firefighters, and medical first responders safely in your hand as they serve our community, friends, and relatives. We ask your guidance tonight on matters set before us so we may serve our residents to the best of our collective ability. Finally, let us humbly thank you for your assistance through the past years and help us cultivate this new beginning filled with hope and justice for all. Amen. Amen. Thank you. I'm Paul Marcraft, Mayor of Lakeside Park. To my immediate left is our City Clerk Treasurer, Teresa Bruck. To my right is our City Attorney, Mr. Greg Voss. Mrs. Bruck, would you please read roll?
Tom Bernheimer.
Here.
Dennis Landwehr.
Here.
George Best.
Here.
Marion Thaman.
Here.
Brian Waite.
Here.
Dave Wolfer.
Thank you. So we have 5 of our 6 members. The first item of business is the adoption of the agenda. I believe that everyone received a copy of the agenda and was posted. Does anyone have any additions, corrections, or suggestions concerning that? If not, I'll entertain a motion to adopt the agenda as presented.
Go ahead.
I'll make a motion to adopt the agenda as presented.
Thank you,
second
Mrs.
it.
Thaman. Thank you, Mr. Bernheimer. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of adopting the agenda as presented, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The vote is unanimous. Next, we have 2 sets of meeting minutes to consider. The first is approval of the December 8, 2025 regular meeting. I believe everyone has received a copy of those. Before any discussion, I will entertain a motion to adopt the minutes of the December 8th meeting.
I'll make that motion, Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Waite. Is there a second?
I'd second that, sir.
Is there any discussion or corrections of those minutes? Hearing none, I'll call for a vote. All in favor of adopting the meeting minutes of December 8th, 2025 as presented, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Once again, the vote is unanimous. Next, we had a special meeting of December 22nd, 2025. And we have the minutes prepared for that short meeting. I will entertain a motion to adopt the meeting minutes of December 22nd.
I'll make a motion that we adopt the minutes of the December 22nd meeting.
Thank you, Mrs. Thaman. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Mr. Bernheimer. Is there any discussion or corrections? Hearing none, all in favor of adopting the minutes of December 22nd, 2025, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Once again, it is unanimous. Next up on the agenda is citizens addressing council. I believe, Mr. Darple, you wish to address council?
Good, thank you, Mayor. Yeah, my name is Paul Darple, representing Mr. and Mrs. Rizzo, 209 Applewood. We've been here a few times in front of you all. trying to get this fence thing resolved. You all basically, we had to go for a text amendment. It's pretty, obviously, as you all know, we tried to get this into compliance because this property abuts that institutional use, and they put that playground right behind their property there, but next to the pool. So, but when we did this initially, when we started, you all had one zoning code when I did the very first time that we were going to do the text amendment. So that was the language that we had submitted. Then we realized when it got sent down to PDS that they said, oh, wait a minute, you all did your Z21 update. And in that, I didn't feel comfortable when I went and I started working with PDS. And basically, they've offered a alternative. It's the same thing that you approved. I just didn't feel comfortable going down and saying, well, let's put it in the Z21 and bring it back to you all. So we just have to have, it's the same language, same thing. It's just now it meets your Z21 zoning regulations. So we wanted, I'm just asking that you send this down to replace the language we had before. Didn't feel comfortable doing it without bringing it to the city council before. It's been some time. I was out, I think the mayor, I made him aware of this. I was out myself and couldn't get here for a number of months due to some health issues, but which are cleared up. So happy to be back here. But I do have a copy of exactly the language as it's being changed if you want that, but I think I sent it before. Just asking you to resend it down to PDS. I got their input, what they wanted. The one change they did make is they actually took out and said, don't have us require the adjacent properties to get approvals because that becomes an enforcement nightmare. They said, just go ahead if it's next to that institutional use by a swimming pool and it meets everything else. That's the language that they put in here. They asked me to, they asked to say, hey, don't put that in. I've got that language here. If you all still want to keep it in, that's your prerogative. I do have it here, though. If you need that and need a handout, I'm happy to do that.
So just for clarity purposes, I did put that language back in the copies submitted to council.
Okay.
During their discussion of the municipal order, they may choose to take it out, leave it in, whatever they would do so. And if you will obviously stick around, if they have questions, may call you back up.
Yep.
So they will, so.
Absolutely.
Can we
Okay,
request a
thanks.
copy that he does have so we can have it?
Do you want me to
signed for
submit the,
official?
well, you all have
Can we
it.
have his copy for official?
Yeah,
submission?
and if we can bring your copy up so that we have it
I think
as well.
7 copies of each.
Okay,
This is the language PDS recommended, and that was the language they took out that I said, hey, just put in as the third.
Okay.
okay,
Okay?
okay,
I'll make sure
Thank
all
you.
council gets a copy.
okay. That sounds great. Yeah, I did. So that was great. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And if we can just very quickly take a quick detour, I'd like to call Chief up. We have Sergeant Joel Tigner here, and I'd like the Chief to introduce him. He's one of our new sergeants.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, Mayor and Council. I want to take this opportunity to introduce those who haven't met Sergeant Joel Tigner. He's got 15 years of law enforcement experience. He's spent a couple of those years with us, and we promoted him back in August. He's been doing a fantastic job in his new position.
Thank you. Once again, welcome and thank you. I know you have been helping Mr. Greer as the point man for installation of our movable radar sign. So Steve and Sergeant get together to decide where is best to actually locate this sign. We do it on a rotating basis, as you all know, to try to enforce our city speed limit signs. So, Sergeant, we know that you did spend a lot of time in Fort Mitchell as well. Is there anything else that you'd like to let council know about in your background or any fun facts?
There's a lot of fun facts. Depends on what people find fun. Started my career in 2011 with KSP Vehicle Enforcement. Came to this area, went to Fort Mitchell in 2012. From 2012 till 2020 with Fort Mitchell. I actually worked with Steve at Fort Mitchell. And then from there, went to the Kent County Sheriff's Office. Was there for 4 years. And then Chief Dagenhart was nice enough to offer me a position here, and it's kind of one of those things that you kind of wish, taking that page back previously, when I heard about it previous, but no, I greatly appreciate being here. Other than that, from 2008 till 2016, I was in the U.S. Army. I was an all-source intelligence analyst with the U.S. Army Reserves. Other than that, I've got 3 kids, 2 grandbabies, one in college right now, and then my son who's 15. That's really about all I've got going on. We've got coaching high school and some other stuff, and then that's about it right now. Keep a busy life.
You ever have time to sleep? Well, thank you for coming in. Is anybody?
Just welcome.
What?
Just welcome.
Appreciate
yeah.
it. Thank you all so much.
Thank you.
And I've met
Yeah.
people off and on through the time, but definitely appreciate being here.
And since you're on duty, we wanted to get you up here because you could get called out for a regular police call, so.
Hence the reason I was late. Actually, one of our residents of Lakeside actually had a report I had to take for him, so I do apologize for that.
That's
No
not a
worries.
problem. So, thank you, and look forward to a good, continued, long relationship for
Most
many
definitely.
years.
Thank you so much.
Well, thank you. Okay, next up is the mayor's report. And first, as you heard during the roll call, we are welcoming George Best as our new council member. George served as the city's representative to the Kenton County Joint Code Enforcement Board for many, many years and submitted his application to fill the vacant council space. He's going to bring his experience to council, and I think it will serve us all well. That board met monthly to consider appeals from various cities' code violations, particularly the nuisance appeals. So, welcome, George. We look forward to having you here. Second, with the unpredictable weather, I want to remind you that any snow emergency will be posted as soon as we issue it on our signboard and social media accounts. Usually, I contact the adjoining mayors and the chief before declaring any kind of a snow emergency. And this is done and want to usually have at least 4 hours before it becomes effective to allow everyone to get their vehicles off the road. The reason to get the vehicles off the road is to allow the snow plows to do their job. It also helps our emergency personnel get to a residence if it is needed. So I want you to know that we do receive severe weather updates all the time. We thank Steve Hensley for keeping us up to date. So we do use many different resources to consider whether or not to issue a snow emergency. Our office is going to be closed on Martin Luther King Day, Monday, January 19th. During the interim, we'd like to again express our condolences to our council member Brian Waite on the passing of his father. I had gotten to know Dale throughout the years, and a very, very fine man, and he is going to be missed by many. So once again, we're very sorry, Brian.
Thank you.
I'm also pleased to let you know that our recreation director, Tracy Hart, is up and running and planning many recreation events. So please stay tuned for Mrs. Thaman's recreation report. I'm also reviewing committee assignments for our members. Right now, we do have an open recreation committee assignment, and we will have only 2 people on the Police Authority Board this year. Crestview Hills will have 3. And those, I will remain on the Police Authority Board, and Mr. Waite will also be serving there. So if you would like to talk about your committee assignments, please let me know, because I want to try to address everybody's strong points, interests, and experience. I'd also like to schedule a goal planning session for council. We can have that on a Saturday morning, we can have it in an evening, And for our snowbirds, we can even do it by Zoom. I'd like to have this before I consider presenting a budget to everyone, so that we can discuss different items that may affect the budget. And finally, when we vote on matters, something that has been brought to my attention is if you, as a council member, wish to abstain from any kind of a vote, if you truly do not wish to cast a vote, I would ask that you go into the conference room or just into the kitchen. If you are here and abstain, that vote is counted with the majority. So that was something, quite truthfully, that I was not aware of in the past. So that's just something for everyone's information. If you have any questions about that, I'm sure Mr. Voss can help out with any explanation. So other than that, that is the clerk's, or the mayor's report. We haven't gotten to you yet, Teresa. And next up will be Mr. Voss and the legal report.
Municipal Order Number 1, 2026, a municipal order of the City of Lakeside Park in Kenton County, Kentucky, authorizing an application to the Kenton County Planning Commission to amend the current Lakeside Park zoning code and zoning, whereas Lakeside Park zoning code was amended pursuant to ordinance on March 11th, 2024, and was further amended in 13/2024, whereas the City Council of Lakeside Park has been requested to amend Section 405J8B, extending to Section 7.06 of the Lakeside Park zoning code to permit fencing less than 50% open to enclose a swimming pool when such property abuts a parcel with institutional use. Now therefore be it ordered by the mayor and the city council of the City of Lakeside Park. Section 1, that the mayor is directed and authorized to submit an application to the Kenton County Planning Commission for the adoption of a text amendment to the current Lakeside Park zoning code. A copy of the text amendment to Article 405 and Article 706, as requested, is incorporated into the municipal order by reference and attached as Exhibit A. The effective date of this order is upon its passage.
Thank you. With that reading, it does not require a second reading as a municipal order. I will entertain a motion to adopt municipal order 1-2026.
I'll make a motion to adopt municipal order 20126. Is that right?
Thank you.
20126,
Yes.
yeah, okay.
Thank you, Mrs. Thaman. Is there a second?
For purposes of bringing it to discussion, I will second the
Yeah,
motion.
that's all right.
Thank you, Mr. Waite. Now, is there any discussion?
There
This
is what
for me-
Brian brought up, yeah.
Well, for
Okay.
me, this is, I guess I have the same concerns that I expressed the last time that this was discussed. So I think for me, I am in general, I would say not in favor of specifically creating ordinances or wording for a single specific instance, which, we only have a handful of properties that this might affect, and then, again, I expressed this the last time, that the parcel that the property abuts is a separate parcel from the church parcel. It's listed with separate, the ownership is listed separately or differently, and the use on that parcel that it abuts is actually listed as residential single-family use. So I think even if this were to pass, I think I would still have a concern that it might not even achieve the right result, because someone might say it's not, we're saying we want it, the new ordinance might say if it abuts institutional, but in fact, the parcel that it officially abuts is single-family residential and not institutional, since it is a separate parcel and the ownership is different. So I think my position is the same. I didn't think we should have gotten this far, so that's my thought on it.
My question would be, I don't understand wording. It says partial for institutional use. Can a residential be used for institutional use?
I think the parcel that the church is on is listed as commercial class and the use is church. So I think that falls more within institutional versus clearly the parcel that the parsonage is on would be, there's no question that one is listed as residential. Now, whether they have children there and they host children playing games and whatever, that's, a separate question. But as of the way the books are written and the way someone would interpret this on the books, I don't think it's applicable.
As a point of clarification on this, I understand that both parcels, everything in Lakeside Park is residential, but we have a non-conforming use. We do not have any religious or institutional uses anywhere in the city. So if that non-conforming use was to cease, it would convert to residential zoning. Now, Mr. Voss,
You are correct, and the one thing about churches, they can pretty much go anywhere, like the post office, they can put them in residential areas, so that's why that would be there. But if it ceased being a church, then it would revert back and be residential.
Residential. Well, does that apply to this property that's zoned residential that's owned by a different owner from the church or whatever, or is it's not owned by the church?
Well, my understanding was it was all owned by the church.
Yeah.
It's just zoned different, and it's zoned residential and not institutional, because I don't think we have an institutional.
no, we do not.
Zone.
So could a resident apply for non-traditional use of their property? Non-conforming use of their property?
There would have to be a text.
It has to be.
Or a zone change, I mean, if you're going to change the zone.
What, as I understand it, is that this was being used for the religious use before the zoning code was adopted. And that is where we get the grandfathered argument. So, go. Other than that, please.
Well, I do
And
have,
I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the parcel that the house sits on, which abuts the pool, was separate, and the church did not always own that parcel. That was a private residence owned by a private citizen. And then when it became for sale, and so it was previously used strictly as a house, separate from the church, by a private resident. Then when that owner decided to sell, then the church acquired that residence. And so now that's how they own that separate parcel. But it is clearly listed as residential, single family still.
so does that mean that that part of the property is not considered?
Yeah, come on up, and you know the property better than I do.
Yeah, it's my understanding that the church has had, I don't know how long the church has had it, but it is the parsonage, and that is the church using it for an institutional use. They have a playground outside, my folks. If you all want to go back and tell them that they can only use that as residential, take that playground out, and we don't have the kids sitting right behind the house, we're not happy. We'd still rather have the fence. But we would take it off. The problem here is that you do have the kids in the background at church events because it's an institutional use. And as far as what you're talking about, spot zoning isn't allowed in Kentucky. An individual parcel, this is not zoning for an individual parcel. This is zoning for anywhere in Lakeside Park that abuts an institutional use.
But how many are there?
You all do permit institutional uses in your city. There are properties that have institutional uses. You're trying to allow that, which is commendable. When you happen to have a playground with kids that's part of an institutional use, abutting a swimming pool, that's something that, hey, let's allow a privacy fence there. That's the only thing you're doing. And that's anywhere in the city, not a spot zoning. So
Well, I
I'll
don't-
disagree with you
I
there.
don't see council going after a kid's playground, so I don't think that's pertinent.
Yeah.
Well,
Even
that's
though
what I'm saying, but
I
I mean, right
appreciate
now-
the explanation.
Right now, yeah, so I mean, right now, I would hope that if, you're gonna say, oh, wait a minute, they don't have an institutional use there, so they can't have this, well, then we would assume you'll enforce that as a residential use and not allow the playground. And I don't think that's where you guys are going.
I do have a question about how the ordinance is written, the text amendment. It says that the fence would be allowed if less than 50% opening. That to me says it can be 0 to 50%, which means it could be a solid fence. That's too open.
Well, that's a
There
private,
needs
that's
to be a
the privacy
restrict-
fence that we have there now. That's what we're trying to get approved. That's what we're asking
So we're
for.
back to a singular designation for one property and one
No,
fence.
you're to anyone that's abutting you're to anyone that's abutting an
Which is this
institution.
one particular case.
You know,
Going back to the last time we had this discussion, I maintain my position that this is for a singular situation. It's for a property that put up a fence in violation to begin with, and now is coming back to us to make an amendment to make it okay. I was rebuked for saying that this was a second bite at the apple, but I stand by that statement, and I would be opposed to this.
no, and I understand, but this is your procedure. This is the way, I mean, I'll be honest with you, I've been on planning commission for 20-some years. And that's the purpose of why we have these. You have a procedure set out saying, hey, wait a minute, we come across these things and give zone changes and text amendments. That's why they're there. Because you come across these type of situations, like, we would like people to be able to enjoy their property. This makes sense. This is one of those times where you have an individual, well, you have a property, and there's all along there, somebody else got a fence, where they've put a playground right behind them. And you all are a residential community. Excuse me. You are a residential community. And all of a sudden, you got a playground there that's having church events. That's not what your all zoning code is set up for. We're trying to have your zoning code now match what you intend. So,
Well, it does match what we intended.
just like you
This
said,
is
well, I
a
don't think-
variation, a deviation from what we
I
intended.
don't think you intended for a bunch of playgrounds to be behind everyone's houses when you don't permit a privacy fence. You want to permit a privacy fence at those times only when they're required. I understand you don't want privacy fences all over. But there are certain times where it's like an individual can't enjoy their property, unless there's something because of an extenuating circumstance.
Are you saying this playground went in after this fence was erected?
No? No. the
Well, I
playground-
don't understand your logic, I'm sorry.
Okay, well, I mean, it's one of those that, they have a swimming pool, and they would like to use it, and suddenly they're having, and some of it actually isn't that old. How old is the playground? They've used it, but they put newer stuff in there, but it's just, suddenly there's something for these kids to look at, with the swimming
But
pool.
to your point, that
and
they
all
knew
that.
the playground was there when they made the decision
To
that-
put the fence up
swimming-
with it-
to-
with
or
that-
to- Or to even put the swimming pool
Without
in, is that
applying
what you're
for a-
saying?
permit.
Gentlemen, one person at a time,
sorry.
please.
And there was a permit for the pool, there was a permit, the fence was improperly put in, and we're coming back saying, hey, wait a minute. We have an opportunity to ask for a text amendment, that's what we came here and did, was approved, that's what went down, and we're asking that you approve it.
So back to the less than 50%. It would be my recommendation that if in fact this were to go forward, that we put, that it must be greater than something like 35%. Otherwise, it could be, like I said, a solid fence with 0%.
Well, we're asking for a privacy fence to keep the kids from being able to
A
look in.
privacy fence doesn't have to be a solid fence.
Well, if you want to allow, we'd rather have the solid fence. We're asking to have a solid, if you want to make it something less, that's your prerogative, we can't keep you. But we are asking for a solid fence to keep kids from being attracted to the swimming pool and to allow people to use their swimming pools without having folks staring.
Is there a height requirement?
Yeah, we still have to meet all that. We still have to meet all that. If you read the actual text that you have, and I handed in all my copies, but it says we have to meet all those other requirements.
I believe it is 6 foot.
6 foot?
It's either 6 or
Which is-
7, I can't remember.
Which is greater than the normal fence?
Yes. Normally, it is a 4-foot fence, except a 6-foot fence is allowed to surround a swimming pool.
We don't want to be responsible for kids seeing that pool and suddenly getting access to it. The more we can keep it hidden, the better off everyone is, safety-wise and everything else. They don't want to be responsible for kids seeing the pool and even getting attracted and jumping in and getting in there. You're bringing kids right to their backyard, right in front of it. They don't want to be responsible for that. It's a safety issue as much as anything.
So it's more of an attractive nuisance?
Oh, absolutely. Well, we're trying to avoid that 100%.
Does
Yeah,
the pool have a cover?
Pool does have a cover.
Is it an auto cover? Yes. It
It
is.
is an auto cover.
Well, if that's closed, the kids aren't going to get into the.
And
keys-
you,
the
and if
key
you're,
needs-
one- and
it needs-
every
the switch
pool that
needs
has
to
an
be
auto
locked.
cover, every pool that has an auto cover doesn't always work. And that isn't, that isn't gonna necessarily save a kid. We don't wanna rely on that to save a kid. I don't think we should be asked to.
Mr. Darple, do you know what the height elevation is of the pool as opposed to the playground area?
I don't know. They generally look level. I had pictures.
Isn't
of
it
them.
significantly above the pool,
No, it's about.
where the
it's fairly
playground
level.
equipment is?
Fairly level. And we had pictures last time, and I apologize. I thought we were just gonna deal with the language this time. I was prepared for that.
just-
But, it's fairly level.
A slide grade.
So the point you were bringing up, Mayor, is if at the playground equipment, even with a privacy fence, because of the elevation and slope of the lot, you would still be seeing the pool anyway. Is that the question?
No.
Is that the question?
That
you're-
was the
or point you
question,
were
because-
Right
raising, the
now,
point you were
most of the
raising?
playground, you wouldn't see it
Well,
with the
Yeah.
fence. Because you gotta be over and then looking down. I mean, the pool is closer to the fence.
Yeah.
So you're
I did
basically.
drive over on site and I did
Yeah.
look, and it does seem to be that there is a slope. I can't say that
Yeah.
I could say for certainty whether you'd be able to see over it or not, but
Yeah.
I understand the question, yeah.
Okay. If anything, the playground will be up here, then you got this. By the time you're looking at the fence, you'd see the back of the house. You wouldn't see the swimming pool
Okay.
from where the playground is, a chop especially. And you can go, I mean, again, I do have pictures probably out in my car. I believe I can grab them, but happy to do that. But I was basically prepared on the language.
does anyone wish Mr. Darple to get those pictures or to visit the site before deciding this? Just a suggestion as far as I'm. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, then we will proceed with a vote. If we can, I believe we should probably have a roll call vote on this rather than by acclamation.
You ready?
Yes, please do.
Dave Wolfer,
Not
Mary
re-
Ann Thaman,
So if I'm saying yes to allow this, correct?
Allow the text
Text
amendment.
amendments, I'm saying yes.
Okay,
Dennis Landwehr,
Yes.
Tom Barnheimer,
No.
George Best,
Yes.
Brian
Can I
Waite.
make a comment or not?
Not yet.
Okay.
Brian Waite,
No,
as I've heard, the municipal order passes by a vote of 3-2.
Mr. Best would like
You gotta
to.
make the comments while we're having
Okay.
the discussion. But the mayor might.
Yes, go ahead, Mr. Best. Please do.
I'm behind the ball on this one, but I didn't want to say yes, but I did because of the attractive nuisance, and if that was brought up early on in the stages, you shouldn't have had a pool then, if that's, but I can still see from a liability standpoint and from a just a understanding of both sides that unfortunately my vote was yes.
Well, this matter will be submitted to the Kenton County Planning and Zoning Department. They will review it. There will be a public hearing before the board, and their decision will then come back to council for another vote to approve or disapprove at that time. So, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Darple, Mr. Rizzo. Appreciate your coming in again.
Appreciate your all's time.
Next on the agenda, anything else?
No, unless anybody has any questions of me.
Thank you. Next item, City Clerk Treasurer's Report.
Okay, we have, actually, I have to change this. We got a few payments in today for property tax payments that were delinquent. So we are down to 9 property tax payments that are past due now. The delinquent letters did go out January the 5th. So if you have not received a delinquent notice and you know that you have not paid, then you need to contact me at the office, and we'll try to get a copy of the information to you. At the end of this month, we'll be collecting our last quarter of insurance premium tax, and we're still due.
Thank you, Mrs. Brook. Next, committee reports. Chief Jansing, Fire, EMS.
Good evening. Before I give the report, the usual report, just wanted to give you an example of how long I've been around in the fire service. The White House that you all are talking about up there was the church, before the church was built. Because I inspected it several times to allow them to use it before they had the church built. So, as far as the monthly report for
Sorry.
That's our ghost.
As far as the monthly report goes, total 21 calls to the city. 15 of those were the usual EMS calls. 6 of them were then fire-related. 2 of them were alarm drops over here at the Christian church. They were actually working on the alarm. The alarm tech was there and thought it was on bypass. So we wouldn't get disturbed, but it called us twice. We were over on Marlowe Way for a gas odor, natural gas odor, and it turned out that Duke had already been called, and they were there. They located a leak in the street. So the people in the house were smelling the leak from the street, and Duke was already on the scene. We had one run over to Rock Crystal for some burnt food on the stove. And it really wasn't food. It was an occupant that was trying to boil water in a plastic bowl. Think about that.
How'd that work out?
We were there.
The fire department was there.
It melted it down, and the water put it out. There was actually no flame. It was comical that I couldn't believe it. I thought, you can't make this stuff up. So, but other than that, business as usual. And we are going to, on the 24th, do the classroom portion, train some more people that have CPR cards and become a CPR instructor. One of which will be one of Chief Dagenhart's officers, Amanda. So she'll be a CPR instructor as well. So, other than that, that's all I've got.
Thank you.
I would just like to comment, as you all heard earlier, my family had the personal need to use the Life Squad services, and I always take every opportunity I have to sing the praises of our public service, and the level of professionalism and competence that was displayed that day for my family was just second to none, and I just wanted to extend my personal gratitude and also on behalf of the whole city, so
Okay.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Any further questions? Thank you, Chief.
Okay.
Next, Public Works.
That would be me.
Yes, thank you, Tom.
To begin with, as we do every month, is review the project status updates. As far as the Dixie Highway Sidewalk and Crestview Hills project, plans have been submitted, and a couple minor changes were requested. They're being addressed, and the documents have been updated. They'll be referred back to us. This is a spring project, so there's time to make any changes necessary in the planning. As far as Belmont Avenue resurfacing, BDT is recommending the replacement of the curb and the sidewalk. There's a couple phases. The first includes Belmont Avenue, the catch basin, existing storm structures, and some curb replacement. Then in phase 2 will include the rest of Belmont Avenue, and there's also consideration being made for a resurfacing with blacktop as opposed to concrete. 2 inches of, asphalt overlay will be required on the road to bring asphalt up to the height of the new curb. VDT will coordinate it and apply for local assistance from the state. We're not real hopeful, but we will take the money if they offer it. And if they don't, we'll proceed on our own. As far as the 5-year street plan, we've discussed the infra hub project for the last couple of months. This is to remind you a program whereby they drive by the streets and focus on pavement conditions, road sign inventory. Maybe it's a little bit easier to understand if you think about Google Earth technology. Anyway, this provided us with a roadmap for what we need to do, and the city will be issued a report, and the city will review the project sometime next month, and the finalized report will be done by the end of February. This contract with InfraHub, I'll get it right one of these times, is for 2 years, so that we'll have future data ongoing for that period of time. The 2025 Joint Crack Seal Program, the city will be doing the following streets: East Lakeside, Williams, Van Dorn, Elizabeth, Halliday, I'm sorry, Yancey, Geeson, and Paul Hesser. Additional joint and crack sealing will be done as needed. The bids were open in August of last year. Rieger Blacktop was awarded the project, and again, that's a spring project for weather considerations. The city building parking lot has been resealed, and the coating work has been completed. Half of the streets under the project have been completed, and the rest will be completed in March once the weather resolves. That takes care of the projects. Beyond that, we have some information provided by the Director of Public Works. The street sweeping has been completed as of 12/9. The building has received a number of security updates, including new bullet-resistant glass work and tinted glass so that people can't look in from the outside and see what's going on. New cameras and keypads were installed. We have a total now of 9 cameras. 10 smoke detectors were upgraded, and the timers for the outside lights in the parking lot was updated to a digital format. It was one of those old rotating timers that looked like a sundial. So that's no longer around. The radar sign has been moved to West Lakeside. On the opposite side of the street that leaves the city, going out to Dixie Highway, where we've had some complaints of speeders. The Dixie Highway sidewalks, the repairs are needed, and we're hoping the state might do something about it, but again, we're not confident that that'll happen, so we may have to address those on our own. As the mayor stated, the snow removal, we request that people move their cars, and we also suggest that if you hear of a snow report coming overnight, you might want to do yourself and the city a favor by moving your car before the next morning when the snow emergency has been declared. You'll save yourself the trouble of cleaning the snow off your car and driving around in the snow to find a perfect place to park it. We discussed the matter of traffic on Dixie Highway. There was an article in the Cincinnati Enquirer that talked about the busiest roads in northern Kentucky, and Dixie Highway was right there on the list. the speculation was that the timing was off on the traffic lights at Orphanage, Buttermilk, and Arcadia. And I requested that we have, asked the state if they would review that, and apparently there is a study underway to try and connect Orphanage and Buttermilk directly, so to resolve some of this, so they won't be doing, accepting any requests to take, look at the traffic lights until they've resolved the fact whether this is going to be done or not. This has been brought up before and never happened, so we again don't know whether this is realistic or not. We had a lot of questions from citizens about leaf removal that we had previously that was discontinued. One of the problems was that every time we tried to schedule it, there was rain and you can't pick up wet leaves and you have to reschedule it. We don't own the equipment, so we had to reschedule with a vendor to do that, but we haven't given up on it. Mr. Greer has said that he would talk to some of the other cities that still do the leaf removal and see how they do it, although caveat is that they own a lot of their own equipment, whether they can do it when they feel like doing it or when they have to do it. So it's going to be a challenge for us, but we are looking into it. And I think that's the end of my report.
Thanks,
Mary
Mike.
Ann or Mayor, do you have anything to add to it
Sounds
or
good.
to correct?
No?
Besides my
I do not.
pronunciation of the,
Very good. Thank you, Mr. Bernheimer. Next is Police Authority, and I'll take this one. In your package, you have the minutes from the November meeting that were adopted, as well as the projected, the draft minutes from our December meeting. You also have a copy of the activity report, which basically shows that 30.77% of the calls coming in were for Lakeside Park, and the other almost 70% were for the city of Crestview Hills. Patrolman Boyers completed the final phase of his field training and is now on solo patrol, so that certainly helps us out. Tony Wilson began his employment at the beginning of December. He will be going to the academy at the beginning of February. He has been doing some field training and learning the streets as he awaits that assignment. Patrolman Bush completed a firearms optic sighting instructor course so that he can keep everyone updated in our department along with the regular firearms training. And Patrolman Amanda Armstrong became certified as an emergency medical technician through St. Elizabeth Healthcare, and she is now nationally on the National Register as an EMT. Many of the times our officers get there before the emergency individuals, and it's great to have someone who is registered. So it is a great asset to our department. So other than that, don't have anything else. Chief, Mr. Waite, Mr. Landwehr, is there anything that I may have missed?
Nothing?
Nothing to add, sir.
Okay, thank you. Next up, PDS.
The PDS Council did not meet last month, so I don't have a report from PDS Council. You do have a list of the violations and permits included in your packet. One update, we did discuss last month regarding the our ordinance around detached structures and whether we had an opportunity to update something there. Specifically, that came up, you might remember, with the application that the Lipperts had regarding their structure. I did receive information back from PDS just last week. Tom and I did not have a chance to meet on it yet. But in addition, now that we have George on council with his expertise with zoning, we wanted to hook George into it as well before we bring a recommendation back to council. And I did discuss this with George already, so this is not a blind side. So anyway, so the three of us will review and bring a recommendation back to council based on what PDS had provided, and we'll go from there.
Okay. Thank you. Does anyone have any questions for Mr. Waite? Hearing none. Mr. Wade, if you will continue with the finance.
Yes, so Mr. Wolfer did the finance review this month, but in his absence, he asked me to provide the report that he did review all of the bank statements, the credit card statements, everything tied out perfectly as usual. So Mrs. Bruff, again, thank you for your work there. You'll notice the revenues in December are considerably higher since, of course, we did collect all of the taxes last month. Mr. Wolfer did suggest, too, that perhaps the Finance Committee get together and discuss our balances and bring forth some recommendations before we might have a caucus meeting like the mayor referenced. So we can expect maybe some discussion regarding that, like the mayor said, before the budget is prepared. So, and that's the finance report, sir.
Thank you. Does anyone have any questions? Thank you very much. Next up, Municipal Government League.
No report, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Landwehr. Mrs. Thaman, Recreation.
Thank you. First of all, I wanted to talk about, I guess, Light Up Lakeside. Light Up Lakeside was a success, even though we had to switch it to a different weekend, and it cost for probably less people being able to make it, but it was a much better weekend. It was warmer, and I'd just like to take the chance right now to thank Barleycorns and Adam Koger, who has now moved on to another, he was the general manager, and Kate, who is now the general manager, along with a list of people. And I really hope I don't forget to mention anybody. I really would like to thank all those, I don't know, was a change with the weekend changing, but there were a group of teenagers that volunteered and put out the luminaries on the street. We're thankful for them. Thankful to Megan Webster, who's the choir director down at Blessed Sacrament. The kids did a wonderful job of singing Christmas carols. Barleycorn staff. I would like to thank Christina Noel Thorson and Val Kramer and Melissa Lucas. Get it right. They were key in keeping all this all coordinated and everything with everything. And of course, Santa. I'd like to thank the Fort Mitchell Fire Department for getting Santa here safely and entertaining his reindeer in the meantime. It was a good event as always. I'd like to thank, of course, Teresa and Jeanette helped set up, and Steve Greer, and of course the mayor. I'm sure there's other people, and please forgive me if I've forgotten to mention them, but it turned out to be another great event, and I was really worried about it at one point. So it turned out really well. Last Tuesday, the county senior games began, and they had their annual or their beginning event in the Fort Thomas Armory, and we had a good turnout. There were 175 people out of the 200 we kind of suspected or had, planned on. There is a flyer out here in the foyer. It's also online. The senior games are continuing like individual events throughout the month. This Thursday, there's going to be bingo at the Erlanger Library. It's going to be at 10 a.m. Breakfast is provided, and there'll be several, games of bingo. So if you want to come out and do something on Thursday, if it's not too cold, feel free to come out and join us. Also, I didn't ask. Where does the Garden Club is also meeting this Thursday at 7 p.m. Is that here? Okay, I didn't know that. So that is happening here on Thursday at 7 p.m. Also, Tracy Hart, our new recreation director, is up and running with things. She's done really well. I think we've had this kind of an agenda, but on Sunday, February the 1st is the Perfect North event. I'm believing that's tubing. And I think half the tickets have been sold, so get online if you're interested in going and get signed up. And then the other fun thing is on Thursday, February the 26th at 6 p.m., going to meet our new recreation director, which is Tracy Hart. She's already got a lot of good ideas going on into the next coming months, but come meet her and let us know what you like to see happen. And I believe that's it.
Thank you, Mrs. Thaman. The quarterly newsletter to all residents and households here in the city. And we are going to continue to do that. Our winter newsletter was just sent to the publisher either Friday or today, and it will be distributed electronically within the next day to those who requested electronically. So it is coming to update everyone. Is there any other old business? that needs to be brought up? Hearing none, is there any new business?
Yes, sir, I have something.
Mr. Bernheimer?
I shared an article with council
Yes.
that was in Sunday's newspaper about an article about Steve
Doan of Arlington.
Doan, who has filed a bill that would prohibit local governments from passing policies that ban individuals from having 6 or fewer chickens in their backyard. And it goes on to specify why that shouldn't be. Now, that sounds like old business, because the chickens are definitely old business. But the article goes on to offer other changes that would directly affect our ability to run this city. He wants to dictate what we can and can't do in the city. That, to me, would set a horribly bad precedent that would really do away with council and do away with city government altogether. It's a dangerous door to open, and I see nothing but bad to come of that. So I brought it to council's attention and discussed it briefly with the mayor, who offered to write a resolution opposing the House bill and filing it with the state government. To do so, I would have to have the approval of council, so I wish to put forward a motion that we have the mayor follow through on this on our behalf and on behalf of the city, so that we can continue to operate the city under our own auspices and do away with the state interference.
You're making a motion?
I'm making a motion that we allow the mayor to move forward with this.
And I'd like to second that, please.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second. Is there any other further discussion?
The only discussion are the same, if that would be appropriate, but just a thought.
The only question that I have at this point is, do you wish me to prepare a resolution, a formal resolution for full consideration at the next council meeting? Or basically give the parameters, vote on it here, and then have me reduce it to writing as approved tonight? That's the question I have for the council members.
Do we know when the vote is taken in Lexington?
As I understand, this bill has been referred to committee.
Okay.
There is no set time that whether it makes it out of committee to the floor, we don't know. That's, I don't
Well, I
don't
guess
have
my
anything.
question is, do we wait for another month to move forward?
I'd recommend we move ahead immediately.
I mean, I have full faith in the mayor's ability to draft this resolution.
The same for me.
He would know more than I would about what's proper and what isn't, I hope. And I'm sure of it.
The only thing is, I think to approve a resolution, you have to have read it.
Okay.
And so if you're directing the mayor to send correspondence and saying that, he's got the full support of council, that's a different thing. But if it's going to be legislation, it has to be read at a meeting. As to the next, when are they back in session?
They are in session.
They're in
now.
session now. My suggestion would be too, I guess it's Kim Bantha is still our representative, that we need to let her know how we feel about it as well.
Well,
It would be, correct, I think.
what
yeah.
I can do is, if you're asking me, and positive vote on council, with the motion and the second that's on the floor, I will prepare a resolution. I will also prepare a letter going out to our local representatives saying, council will be considering this at the next meeting. So
think
that
that's
they have that coming up, so they know what we are considering.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's a
not going to
two-step
say the
process.
same as, yes, this has been adopted, and then
Yeah.
they'll get a second copy if it is adopted by council.
Correct me if I'm wrong, if it's a resolution, don't we have to have 2 readings before we
No,
vote?
no,
No, we
no.
wouldn't have to.
Ordinance.
Okay, just an ordinance,
Resolution is
okay.
the lowest.
Okay, then if you could prepare the letter and send it to our representatives so they're forewarned. and know how we stand, and then bring us something legal to the next meeting.
Okay.
So that would be my motion.
It's mid-February before it goes to Frankfurt, though.
Yeah.
Well, officially as an approved resolution.
A letter will go before.
The letter will go before.
So there's no way for us to vote tonight to say we want the mayor to
Unless you
send
have a
this.
specific language that's been approved, you're gonna get yourself in a pickle, so.
Yeah, then we don't want to do that.
But what you're doing is, he's gonna send a letter, he's gonna attach the resolution and provide that you all had the vote to authorize doing
Okay.
it all, so they'll
Yeah.
know it's supported.
Okay,
Okay.
And you will have the opportunity to amend the resolution at the meeting if you don't like the language or
Okay.
what is put in it, because that's council's prerogative.
Good, good. So that's my motion, to do what the mayor suggested, and with Greg's input, to keep us out of a pickle, as you said.
Thank you. Is there any further discussion on the motion?
The only thing I would suggest is if there's a way to figure out who's on that committee, which committee it's going
Oh.
to.
Right.
yeah,
Do that?
yes, please.
I have the committee that it was
Great.
referred to. So, thank you. And I will copy council on that as well, if and after this vote.
Right.
So if there's no further discussion, all in favor of Mr. Bernheimer's motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing nothing, the vote is unanimous. Thank you, Mr. Bernheimer, and everyone. Is there any other new business? Hearing none, I believe that there is one more motion that needs to be made.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I spoke.
Thank you, Mrs. Thaman. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Best. Is there any discussion? And hearing none, all in favor of adjourning, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you, everyone.